What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Another week of Nick and Tom. I don't know, and it's just another week. Happy to be here. What's going on with you, John?
We back at it, man. We back at it. Looking excited to be here once more with you, my guy. Talking these Knicks, man. I wish we was as exciting as this as our intro is. You know, that intro gets me hype every time. Then we come into it and we got to talk about, a Knicks that, may not even make the playoffs this year. I think it's a high probability.
It's a tough one, man. I don't know what's gonna happen this time around. It's looking a little bleak, man. Listen. This is what we thought. Listen, they're going to go out there. They're going to try hard, but the team's got some issues. And so those issues don't just go away overnight. They're there. So it is what it is.
All right. You're right about that.
Yeah, man. It's cool. It's cool. Let's get right up into it, right? But before we do, why don't we hear from our sponsor? A little word of some positive from a Black-owned company out there and support them.
I'm glad they're still supporting us, by the way, and helping us out.
Facts.
So, that's a great thing. Shout outs to everyone at Urban Cowboy. Appreciate you, and definitely to everyone who supports us here at Still Knicks Fans. Definitely check them out. So let's go there.
Tonight's podcast is sponsored by Urban Cowboy, designed for the lived experience. Urban Cowboy clothing, uniquely designed for every urban trendsetter, both young and mature. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gotta support them. Gotta support them, man. Definitely, guys. If you haven't checked them out as of yet, definitely do so. It's getting warmer. These past couple days was pretty nice, man. It's gonna get a little cool next couple days, but then you know what? Something tells me we're gonna get back to that warm weather, and once it's here to stay, you want to get some of that Urban Cowboy stuff going on. A couple T-shirts, maybe a hoodie for the nighttime. Just get out there and check out the site, man. UrbanCowboyClothing.com.
Yeah, that's definite for sure.
Yeah. So, brother, I'm thinking we might as well just jump right into the risers and the fallers, or riser and faller of the week, because it's good to support a positive. So let's go with the riser.
We got to.
All right.
Who we got? Who's our riser?
Looks Looks like this is none other than IQ himself. That's right, folks. Emmanuel Quickly. Yeah, man. Listen, we got to give
Nice.
credit where credit is due. I'll be the first to see. People get a little confused when I say this stuff. I don't dislike Quickly. Would I trade Quickly for someone better? Yes. But do I want Quickly on the team? Of course I do. I just don't want Quickly as the point guard. But Quickly as a backup shooting guard, I like him. I like him a lot. And he's been looking good, man. He's been averaging around 15 or 16 points in his last 8 games, 8 to 10 games, I believe. But it's definitely 8 games. And he's been a lot more consistent. His shot's been good. And even when he kind of started off a little slow, he's worked himself back into a rhythm. So it's not like the Quickly we saw earlier in the season. This is a much better, much more consistent Emmanuel Quickly.
Yeah, he's making good decisions out there as of late, and he isn't just chucking the ball up, he's also finding his teammates in good positions. He's doing a lot more of what a point guard would do, in a game-to-game basis. So is he maturing into one? Possibly. Will he revert back to old ways? We won't know until he goes through a dry spell. So
Right.
I think the hope is that he stays consistent. And if he can keep up this consistency, maybe there's a possibility that he starts next year off as a starting point guard for the New York Knicks if we don't pick one up in the draft. Possibly. I know one thing we do know is that if he doesn't get moved, Tibbs is going to utilize him. Whether that's off the bench, it remains to be seen. But again, that he is one of Coach Tibbs' favorite players, and so I don't see him just not coming into next season not playing valuable minutes for this team. So we'll see. I mean, this is great. This is great for him. This is a time for him to learn. A great opportunity for him to really get going and really understand his role as a point guard in this league. So we'll see.
I agree with that. Listen, if he gets better, he gets better. I'm going to be very happy with him. I just feel like for what this team needs right now, they need someone who knows how to do it. If Quickly is in the backup role and learns underneath that person, okay, fine. But as your starting situation, whether it's Quickly or Burks, I'm not happy with either one. I prefer Quickly over Burks, though. I will say that. I'd rather have Quickly out there than Burks, but it is what it is, man. But, salute to Quickly. He's been doing, damn good. He's been playing good defense. He's been getting a lot of rebounds from his position, like 5 or 6 a game in this 8-game stretch.
That's something that does stand out. He's done that this entire season, actually. So,
okay,
you know what I mean?
Go.
So that's
we lost you for a second.
I don't know what's going on. I see that. I keep getting caught in this matrix, but it's okay. We'll push through it.
Nah, man, we all right, dude. Yeah. I heard you. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
We got through that. Yeah, dude. Just quick sidebar. I didn't know if we were going to even be able to do the show today. My internet was crazy early. I was like,
oh, what's it?
I was like, this ain't going to work. But
to be honest, I haven't had to. I myself haven't had the chance to reset mine before coming on. You know what I mean? Just because I usually try to reset it in order to get the best optimal signal.
Right.
But I came in so late today, I wasn't able to do so.
Well, that's okay, man. And listen, I had to reset mine. I haven't reset it in months, so it was good. It needed it, I guess.
Yeah. Needs to clear the throat.
So yeah, man. Sometimes that's what you got to do. So so that's Emmanuel Quickly. He's the riser of the week. There could be other people, but there's a couple weeks left. They'll have their shot. We'll see what happens with these Knicks. But the faller of the week is the one that I really want to talk about. This is the one that he's on everybody's mouth today. Pause. So listen, he it's well deserved. Okay. So the guys, Julius Randle is the faller for this week. I would say that he's had better moments. This week wasn't horrible for him, but compared to how he was playing prior to this week, when we made him the riser, his numbers have taken a dip. So
Not a
out
dive,
the
just a dip.
no, just a dip, not a dive. Although that last
Okay.
game, this past game against the Utah Jazz was pretty rough, pretty rough.
Right.
You can see some of Julius's lowlights right here. He hit a couple shots, but it was a rough going for him. It was definitely a rough going for him. Like I said, he's had a tough week. He scored 20 points against the Blazers. I almost forgot. Let me just double check.
Yeah, against
He
Washington.
had
What
he
was
had
he, like
18
18?
versus Washington. He was
Right.
6 of 22 from the field. And
Right.
then
But he did other
last
things with
night,
that Wizards game, though. He had
yeah,
the 18
definitely. I
and
think he had like
16.
17 rebounds or something like that, 16 or 17 rebounds. So
Right.
he definitely did something to help the team.
Right.
The most recent game against Utah, he had 13 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists on 6 of 21 shooting and 1 of 6 from the 3-point line. And here's an interesting stat. Julius is doing bad. He didn't get to the free throw line not once. So that's kind of shocking.
Right. Well, and I don't know. Some days he's not going to have it. The one thing that I point to that's always a good thing is that his rebounding numbers are sort of consistent. Like, he is a solid rebounder, and when he's engaged, he can be even better than solid. But yeah, I mean, his scoring hasn't been consistent this entire year. So we were happy to see him go through a spurt where it looked like he was going to get there, but you know, it happens. It happens in the NBA. You're not gonna, year to year. That's what separates the great players to the average player. And right now, he's playing but about average.
Yeah. That's that. He just goes up and down, man. He's so inconsistent. Like
Right.
between between RJ and Julius, it's really tough for this team to go on a roll because you got two guys that are like the big focal points of the offense, and they both have spells of being terribly inconsistent. I don't think
Yeah.
a team can be successful in this league having two guys that are big parts of your offense and they're both terribly inconsistent. Like, you can deal with excuse me, you can deal with one, but you need one of these guys to be a little bit more consistent in order to get something good.
And it comes to and it's really the coach also that has to be aware of which of the two players he can rely on game in and game out, right? It may not be that same player every game, but he needs to
Right.
realize when the player is not at his best to where he can transition the offensive game, going away from that individual and going to the the opposite player in hopes that they can get going. And he has to figure that out a lot quicker. And it's unfortunate because you'll see they keep trying to put Randle in positions to score and get opportunities to shoot the ball in order to keep him engaged. But it's, for whatever reason, it's not working. I would be interested to see how this year's stats for him line up with his first year and see if that is something that
Interesting.
like, is that like what we can expect, more so than a year that he had last year? Was last year an anomaly? That
Right.
is something that we could check out. Maybe we could do that comparison for this upcoming Saturday's Know the Ledge.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be
Yeah,
bad.
I'm interested in that. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Now,
something we'll look into.
I'm not really sure if I want to touch base on his, after the game antics, because I don't,
Well,
I don't know.
that's okay. If you don't want to, I understand, but I have to say something
All right. Well,
because
before you go, because I know you're gonna go. You're gonna go, and you're gonna let it out. But I just want to say this: not every player in this league can hold themselves to be even keel. Randle isn't that player.
mm-hmm.
sort of expresses that. He expresses in the game, throughout the game, his disappointment and his gleefulness. If they're playing well and he's scoring and he's and they're winning, he shows it. When they're losing, he shows it. So that isn't hidden. So we're gonna have to expect more of this, because as of right now, he is going to be part of our future, and it doesn't seem like the Knicks are moving away from him. So with that, I I concede the floor. Go ahead, Ron.
All right. So listen, what I don't like to do is I don't want this platform to be one of those platforms where we're continuously bashing our players. You know what I mean? I never liked that growing up. I never liked listening to ESPN or any of these shows like downplay our guys and big up other guys. And then when we do something good, they don't even mention it. I love our Knicks team. I love the players that are on the team. When Julius Randle came here, I was super excited. I know a lot of people were questioning the fact of making him like a big feature act on our team because he's never did it anywhere else, and they felt like we needed somebody even bigger. But I was, and they were mad that we were paying him like 18 million in that first deal that we gave him. But I looked at it like this is a guy who wants to be here. You know what? He's not a terrible player. He can improve, and he did improve, like better than I ever expected. But I'm not going to sit back and watch someone on my team doing certain things that I don't have an explanation for. I get it that he's a very passionate player. I understand that he uses that passion and it fuels him. But we've seen that passion before. We've seen it in his first year with the Knicks. It just wasn't as he wasn't as powerful with it. He was a little bit more controlled, more subdued. We saw a lot more of it last year. We complained about it throughout the season, and then when he got into the playoffs, how he was acting in the playoffs, we were pointing fingers at him because he didn't show up, as far as in his game.
Right.
This year has been another story. This year he's taken, however he's acted in the past, to another level. And I feel like I've made enough excuses for him. I just don't think I don't want Julius Randle on my team anymore. I think he has no control over his emotions. And I think one of the biggest things that I had to take a look at, because I've said this about Julius Randle for many years, but I'm like, I never made a big deal about it because he's on our team. But if you guys look at how Julius Randle plays throughout the course of a game, a lot of games actually, he's a dirty player. Like Julius is a dirty player. He's always elbowing somebody in the face, chopping them with his arms, hitting them with a shoulder. And then what he does is, like there's been plays, he knocks them down on the ground. He'll walk away or step over them. He won't even pick them up. Or I guess he's trying to do that so he doesn't draw attention, so he doesn't get a foul called on him or something like that. I could understand him trying to be slick with it. But it's also like sometimes he's callous. Sometimes he's chopping dudes in the face and they're holding their face, writhing in pain on the floor. And he just walks away like nothing. My point with the reason why I'm saying this is because last night they said that Julius got upset because I think he caught a elbow during part of the game, and then toward the end of the game when they were kind of fighting for position with him and Rudy Gobert, he caught an elbow. He didn't like it or whatever. He felt like he wasn't getting foul calls throughout the game. As I said, he didn't go to the line not once, right? But the point that I'm trying to make here is this is who Julius is dirty with his arms and his physical play, and he gets away with a lot of stuff. And for him to get so sensitive and upset that someone did something similar to him, it was like the end of the world. You can't be a hypocrite. You can't be one way doing one thing, and then when someone does it to you, because we know Gobert's a very physical defender. You can't do that. It just, to me, it's
Right.
it's ludicrous to be that way. And then when it's all said and done, Gobert wasn't even coming at him like, "Oh, shut up," or like, because guys in the NBA, they like, you start barking, they start getting mad, and they're like waving you off like you talking crap. He was trying to console him, like everything's good, and Julius was pushing him off. Like, I can't, I don't know. I've had enough of the Julius Randle act. I just don't think it's good for the team. I don't think he's a consistent enough player that we need to deal with it. So I'm hoping he gets out of here in the offseason. And I hate to be this way because I don't want to bash our players, but I'm done with him. So That's it. That's all I had to say. That's my rant. I'm sorry. It was like 3 minutes. I don't know how long it was, but I'm done. I'm done with him.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today in another Still Knicks Fans podcast. So we were about to say our goodbyes. That was so long.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I just had to get that out because it's been bothering me, especially the fact that I look at how he plays. He's a very dirty player, and you know, it is what it is.
Here's the interesting part. We didn't mind that when it was the 90s Knicks. However,
Right.
the 90s Knicks did not complain if they got into a battle or a scuffle. And that is the difference for all those who are saying, who will look at this and say, Ron, what are you, crazy? Like we love the dirty play when we were the Knicks of the 80s and 90s, right? Like that's what we enjoyed growing up watching. And I would say yes to that. But we didn't have those players that sort of complained on the opposite end. They understood that they were going to get physical, and the physicality would have come in return. If anything, you know, you got into each other's faces, and then it was a breakup or there was a fight, and that was the end of it. There is something to be said about Randle always posturing. You know what I mean? He seems to posture a lot. It's almost like he does the sort of thing where he wants to pose and he works those, and I don't necessarily know if it fits him well. I think he's probably better suited.
What was that last part you said about him posturing, and then there was something he does? You were breaking up a little bit.
Oh, well, from what I'm seeing, it seems like he's posturing, and then he's doing it in order to pose sort of an intimidating threat, but isn't really that sort of person. You know what I mean? So it doesn't come off genuine. You know what I mean?
Right.
And his dirty antics turns out to be a little bit less appealing because he's probably better suited to play not like that, right? He's better suited to play aggressive but quick, and sort of making quick decisions as far as deciding on whether he's going to score or pass the ball, versus trying to, you know, throw those elbows or get engaged into some physicality that he's not necessarily wanting to do, because it almost seems like he's forcing himself to be sort of an intimidator, and I don't think players in the NBA see him that way either. So that's why he's not getting the looks. You know what I mean? That's why people are not paying much mind to him. You know, so I just don't know. I mean, he may be wanting to be feared, but he's not the kind of player that people fear. I think players in this day and age, they fear the guys who are going to outscore them and have better skill levels than they do. And those are the ones that they fear. They fear the Durants. They fear the Kyries of the world. They fear the Bookers of the world, the Curry. You could even say LeBron to a degree. You know, they don't fear him as they used to. But you look at someone like Giannis, you fear a player like that. You fear an Embiid. You fear a Jokic because of what they can do on the court, not necessarily what they can do off the court. So. Right.
I think you froze up a little bit, but I hear where you're going. I agree with you on that, and I think there's a lot to be said about his antics and how he thinks it comes across as how it's actually being perceived by others may not be what he really thinks it is. I agree with you on that. Let me just do a quick shout out to the chat. Salute to you guys.
Salute.
May 4th in the building. Angel Torres, Geraldine McIva, Wacko in Brooklyn, Mike Asparis. What's going on, Mike? I don't know if I've seen you here. Maybe I have, but if I haven't, I appreciate you tuning in, man. We thank you for joining into the chat.
Absolutely.
Dripmore is here. Jose Mello in the building. D-Ras, Infamous New King, Knicks for Life. What's going on, Chuck? Big task at hand, my dude. What's going on, bro? White Falcon's here. What's going on, White Falcon?
Nice. Got a full lineup
And
today, huh?
Canal. Yeah, look at Canal Banlaya's in the building. What's going on, brother?
Very nice. Very nice.
I wanted to touch on something real quick that I saw in the chat before we moved on. Knicks for life. Chuck said, "Is Grayson Allen dirty?" Yeah. That. Or no, you're trying to say, is he Grayson Allen dirty? No, Julius Randle is not Grayson Allen dirty. Grayson Allen is the dirtiest player in the NBA, if you ask me, and I think a lot of people would agree. He's a dirtbag, bro. He was always a dirtbag. He was a dirtbag at Duke. He was the first Duke player, because I'm a Duke fan, guys, in case you don't know. He was the first Duke player that I ever had to say, damn, man, I don't know how I feel about this Grayson Allen guy. This dude's a dirty dude. So I had to even question him. You know, I was like, I don't know about
you didn't
this
feel
guy.
the same way about your boy Christian Laettner?
No, Christian Laettner was a teddy bear compared to Grayson Allen.
Yeah, compares. Yeah,
of course. Yeah. And when I say this about Julius Randle, I'm just, guys, next time you just watch the Knicks games. Just watch them. Watch old games. Watch current games. Just watch how Julius is. Watch how he bangs down low. He's always chopping and hurting people. They take it. It's basketball, but
it's very poser-like. It's very
yeah. Well,
I just want to.
John,
I want to get I want to get a shoulder in here, there. And some of it isn't on purpose. There are some times where he flares.
Oh no,
he'll
that's
flail,
what I'm saying.
And then
and he hits people.
A little extra.
He don't care though,
right? Because he's not getting the call himself.
Right, but you can't play like that and then be mad when it happens to you. Like, you do this all the time. Like, you know who's a guy who used to do that and he's underrated for that? Just real quick, Carmelo Anthony. Not as bad as Julius Randle by any means, but if you ever seen Carmelo Anthony go for a block, this guy will take your whole head off while he's trying to get the ball. Like, his arm goes through your head while he's going for the ball. Like, it's wild. Anyway, because he used to do that big swing thing that he used to do. Anyway, okay, but you guys get the point. So enough about Julius. We can touch on Julius a little bit more throughout the course of our weekly recap. But the first game of the week was the New York Knicks versus the Portland Trailblazers. And this was a very interesting game, guys, because this could have easily been a letdown game because Portland went out there with like a G League squad. Portland's team is already devoid of some talent because of injuries and trades, like trading McCollum and stuff, and Damian Lillard not being healthy, and vice versa, and others.
Right.
For this game, even more people were out.
Yep.
So basically, their best player on the court was Josh Hart. Now, that's no offense to Josh Hart. Josh Hart is a really good NBA player, but he was their star player for the night. So that says a lot.
He was the only guy who they had
a
bit to get going. You know what I mean? Like,
right. That was tough.
The last time we faced them, it was Josh Hart, Anthony Simmons, and who else? Did they have on the court at the time? Was it Trent?
Man, they have Zaire Williams on that team too, right?
I don't remember.
I believe
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, but it was actually, I think the last time we faced him, Brandon Williams wasn't even there. He was in the G League. Yeah, but I mean, basically, it was Josh Hart. It was Anthony Simons. Justice Winslow was there, and I think Zaire Williams, if he's on that team, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be bugging. Yeah, but they didn't even have that much this time around. They had Justice Winslow, but Justice Winslow is not he's not an offensive threat, guys. He plays pretty good defense, but he's not an offensive threat. They had Trendon Watford, Drew Eubanks, Brandon Williams, Greg Brown, CJ Ellaby, Ben McLemore, Chris Dunn. You guys get the picture. So if you didn't see the game, it's a fun one to watch for the Knicks because the Knicks blew them out. The Knicks won 128-98. So it wasn't a letdown. They came to play that game. They were led behind R.J. Barrett, who had 31 points. And he shot 50% from the field and 45% from three. So he was cooking that night. Julius had 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Wasn't a bad game, but like I said, it was a dip from what he had been doing prior. And pretty much the next guy on the court who gave
It was a
a
decent
good, a
stat
real
line though,
good.
right? 20, what he had? 20, 27, and what? He had
Who?
20.7 rebounds. Randall.
Oh yeah, 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists.
That's good. What? That's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's not bad. It's just it wasn't. It's a dip from what he was doing because his
Right. The
shooting
week
was
before he
poor. He
was
was
doing
five
like
for
30
right,
points, shooting at a better percentage. Right.
and his shooting from the field, he was 5 for 18. That's 27%, and he was 0 of
Yeah.
5 from three.
Yeah, that's
So
a
yeah,
tough
it's just
shooter,
a
man.
different. It was just a different type of game for him. Quickly had a good game. He had 18 in this one. So yeah, it
Mm.
was. I think it was a pretty good game. Not a letdown for the Knicks. They came out there. They did what they needed to do to secure the victory, and they never let up. So it was a good job by them.
Yeah.
Um,
I,
I don't really have much more to say about that game. It was a good game.
it was a good game. It was a good game to watch. It was a game that we was expecting to win, you know. So I would say that, especially with the way that the Portland came out and they were sort of, you know, they didn't have a full roster. So I'm with
Yeah.
you there. We can move on from
Yeah.
that game because that doesn't really show much growth.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. Then that brings us to the game against the Washington Wizards. The Knicks won this game 100-97, and it really wasn't as close as that score dictates because there was some wild stuff that happened towards the end of the game with about a minute and a half left. Kyle Kuzma hit a three. Actually, with about a minute and 45 seconds left, Kyle Kuzma hit a three from the top of the key,
Mhm.
and I guess that got him going. So
Yeah,
then
he's
he got to
starting really
the
getting hot.
wing, and then he started jacking. So yeah,
But
he
he was
just got
knocking him
confidence.
down, man. He was knocking
Oh
him down.
man, dude, he hit one off the glass, and he was like, "Oh, if it's going off the glass, I'm definitely hot." And he
You
hit
know,
like
that
another
last
three
three,
threes.
that last three that
hmm
he shot, though, that was a heat check. That's what it was.
Yeah,
It was nothing more than a heat check. The good thing is that, Porzingis wasn't really uh, getting into his stride. You know what I mean? And for the same amount of, they were sort of like they both were field outside of Kuzma getting hot at the end. But I think they scored about the same amount of points that game.
Kuzma and Porzingis.
Yeah, was
Yeah,
it
they
like
both had 18. Yeah.
18? Yeah,
Yeah, and Kuzma had
that
to
was
hit those threes in the very end to get to 18.
to
So
get there.
he was having a bad
Right.
game, bro.
But you have it in front
Um,
of you. What were their shooting percentages? Do you have it in front of you
well, yeah, Kuzma
between the two
was
of them?
6 of 17,
Woo!
and 4 for 9 from three. Mind you, all four of those shots happened within two
Fourth
minutes
quarter.
of the game
Mm-hmm.
being over.
Right.
And then Porzingis was 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from three. So he actually shot pretty well. He
He
had
shot better.
18 points, 11 rebounds.
But how many shots? 2 of 14
Uh,
overall.
Porzingis was 9. He had 9 shots overall.
And out of how many shots he took? 9 out of
No, that he had 9. He hit 5 out of 9.
5 out of 9. Okay, I thought he shot more.
No. He was actually pretty efficient. And then
Okay.
he also scored 6 points from the free throw line.
Okay. Yeah, this is one we led most of the way, right? I mean, they probably had a lead early in the game, but I think we led most of it, and we shot it
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Well, no. Did we? No, we didn't. Actually, that's
We
the
didn't shoot
reason
it
why
well.
this game got close. Because technically, we should have blown them out the way we blew out Portland because they weren't shooting well. And then they got hot late in the game. But the Knicks
First
shot
3 quarters,
34%. They shot
maybe first
34% from the
3 quarters.
field for the game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Because the high scorer on this game was RJ with 18, and Julius tied him with 18.
Oh, that's hilarious! I didn't even catch that. You said Randall and RJ had 18, Porzingis and
Yeah,
Kuzma had 18.
had 18. Yeah, it's
Wow,
crazy. Like this game, this it was so close, when you
that's
think about
so
it.
good.
But it's just the score was the Knicks had a nice lead, and it got
Right,
those threes
right. It
made the
got
difference
cut
towards the
down.
end.
Right, right. Because if
Yeah.
not, we would have if he didn't knock those threes down, we would have won by around, somewhere around 8 or 9 points.
Yeah, which is interesting because that tells you, look, RJ and Julius both had 18 apiece. You got 15 from Mitchell, which if you get 15 from Mitchell Robinson, that's
That's a
very
good
good.
game. Yeah. Right.
Burks had 12, Fournier had 15, and Quickly had 15.
So it
And
was
mind you,
spread further, from
it
the
was
team.
spread, but mind you, RJ shot 6 of 22 from the field, and so did
That's a
Julius. They basically had the same damn
mm,
game, except Julius had 17 rebounds.
yikes. So this
Wow.
this was coming then. The coming into the next game, you would see where the trend is heading.
The poor shooting was
Looking at the
coming,
stats,
yes. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It was that Portland game. You saw his numbers start to dip a little bit as far as his shooting. Then he was even
Right.
worse in the game against the Wizards, and then
Wizards.
Utah. So it was coming. You definitely saw it. It kept getting worse. Yeah.
So those are the things that you would think that's pointed out as far as you're a statistician for the New York Knicks. You know what I mean? You're looking at all the numbers. That should be front of mind for a team or coaching staff that is looking at the numbers to sort of help spell players' woes. You know what I mean? Like you can see it. The numbers are showing you he's having a poor shooting night. This is the second game, and then you go and were these these road games? Were they all road games?
This was a
No,
this was a home game. And
home game.
yeah, and the other one I believe was a home game as well.
And
Yeah,
then
both
Utah
were
was
home
a home
games.
game. So look, we're playing
Correct.
poorly. We're winning games, but not playing to a level in which you can, lean on players like RJ and Randle going into a Utah game. So that's we would hope that staff bring up in conversations, say, hey, these guys made the rest, or get them.
What was that last part you said again? You were breaking up.
You would think that this would be something where the coaching staff gets together and talk to the coach about possibly getting them rest at some point. Maybe they feel like maybe their energy level isn't where it needs to be in order to be consistent from the field. But it's just weird that you start to see it. If you're really paying attention to it, you should be something that should be talked about in the locker room amongst coaches, and then disseminated it, to the players to say, hey, we're gonna play you, less than your normal time, whether that be like 34 minutes or 30 minutes, versus the 38 minutes that we have been playing you, in order to give people some rest, in hopes to shoot it better in the fourth quarter. Because at the end of the day, is you want to end the games better. Yeah, that's where we're at, man.
No, I agree with you on that. I mean, the Knicks, obviously, you know how much they ride these, Thibodeau rides his players into the ground. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So I hope that going forward in these next few
3
games,
more years.
we see some. Yeah. Well, I don't know, dude. I know that they said that they're keeping him going into next year, but I think they're still looking at these last couple games. I still think they're looking at these last couple games just to make sure he doesn't do anything like super crazy like that. Like, oh, if he's gonna be doing this, like, but I get it. I know that he's staying for now.
It's just hard to believe that that they're moving away from him. You know what I mean? They haven't given us any inclination that they will. So we just gotta get used to it.
I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I don't really think I want to see him back, but if he comes back, fine. But I do think that Randall's got to go. Like I can't see both of them here. One of them's got to go. And I think Randall helps them if he leaves.
Talking about why aren't they moving away from Randall? Because that's going to be the conversation. Why can't we find a trade for Randall? Because the front office doesn't want to trade him. That's really what it is. It isn't because his value is low, because his value wouldn't be low across the league. I don't see that as a reality. You know what I mean? I think the reality is that the New York Knicks believe in his skill set and they're going to keep him.
Yeah, that's what it looks like for now. I hope something.
I hope I'm wrong, but
No, I think you're right though. But I'm really hoping that a trade offer opens up where the Knicks can acquire a piece of talent that they really want, and that other team wants Randall in return as a part of it. So
Right.
we'll see. We'll see.
Lakers for
Anyway,
Lakers for LeBron. Send them back home.
all right. Yeah, I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying. If anybody can make that push, it would be LeBron. He has all the clout.
Well,
He
well,
has the
that's
clout
true.
to make a decision like that.
That is true. We know that.
Mhm.
So then that brings us to yesterday's game, uh, which was against the Utah Jazz,
Better team.
and
End of the
yeah,
day,
that
just a
team,
better team.
yeah, that team is a better team, and they've got a closer,
Yeah,
and it showed.
right.
You
And
know,
they got a
they
potential six
lost.
man of the year award winner in Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, Jordan Clarkson, man, this dude's a walking bucket, man. No matter where he goes, it don't matter. He can get points. Uh,
He
it's a shame that we don't have him coming off our bench because Jordan
yeah.
Clarkson is a guy that could have been gotten many times, but whatever. I've said too much.
Listen,
Yeah,
Burks
Knicks
could
wound
be
up
that guy.
Yeah, the only problem with Burks is
When
that Burks is little like his game is different, and he's not as explosive as what a Clarkson is. I think Clarkson may be younger. I'm not sure, but I think he is
he
younger.
is younger. He is
Um,
definitely younger, but he
yeah.
doesn't do like Clarkson isn't like leaping like Donovan Mitchell. Like he's not throwing it on
Oh no
people.
no no no
He's just playing
no no no
a
not
really,
yeah no.
crafty game. You know what I mean? Good shooter. Good off the dribble, good off the pick and roll. He's solid. I think Burks does all those same things if you allow him to be a shooting guard. If you allow him to
I
come
agree
off
with
the
that.
bench and play as a shooting guard in his role that he had most of last year, he would be doing what he did most of last year. But you're forcing him into a role that he's not comfortable with.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So in the end, guys, the Knicks wound up losing this game 108-93. It was a lot closer around the 6 minute mark. But
Right.
then Tibbs, and
Down
this is
four.
when some of the fans, I think they
We
were
could have
down
got it
four.
down. We could have got it down to three. Could have got it down to two, but quickly missed two free throws from his
Right.
3-point play. He had the 3-pointer. Oh no, he
Yep.
had the 3-point
Yep.
shot that he was fouled, and then he
hmm
missed two of the three, which kept them up by 4.
And this is when the fans started to get upset with Tibbs again because they felt like, at least that's what I've been reading. A lot of fans were upset that Tibbs went away from the rotation. I mean, the unit that was in there at the time because we had
Right.
cut into the lead and we were getting close. And then he took OB and
Mm-hmm.
quickly out, I think, and he brought
Mm-hmm.
back in Burks and he brought back in Randall.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lead started to grow again,
Well,
and it
to
was
be
game over.
fair, to be
I
fair,
think so.
uh,
Yeah.
we lost the lead. Well, we didn't. We never had the lead. We could have done it two. Instead, it was kept to 4 because quickly missed happens, and then play that ensued that was a horrific defensive, stance by the Knicks, and Obi Toppin was part of that. Uh,
He
so they
was.
then
He
scored the
was.
bucket, and so you're down instead of being down 4 with the ball, you're down 6 with the ball, and then that's when there was some changes made. So we were heading in the wrong direction. Still, it wasn't like we
But
were, you know.
but the feeling was that, well, the other thing is like you're bringing in Randall, right? And I know like you're bringing your starters, you're going with your guys, but
Mhm.
the other thing is, as I said, Randall was not having a good game. He shot
Neither
6
was
for
Obi.
21. I mean,
What was Obi shooting?
no,
Let's be real.
uh, Obi was 3 of 6 from the field. He had 9 points.
How many 3-point shots?
One. He was 1 of 2.
1 of 2. How
Yeah.
many
He
rebounds?
wasn't as bad as it looks.
How many
And the fact
rebounds?
that he played, well, that's not his game.
No, you can't. You can't say that. You can't say that. It's
No,
supposed
I
to
mean
be a
he's
part of
not
his
his
game.
game. Listen, that's
Supposed
the
to be a
I
part of
don't
his
think
game, though.
that's an issue. That's an issue. It's an issue. It
The
is.
issue is he's
But
always sprinting to the other side of the court. That's why.
you're
That's
right.
the issue.
And
So
And I agree with you. I don't think Obi is going to get a real fair shot on this team anyway. As long as Randall's here, I think he would probably fare better somewhere else because of what
right.
he does right now in his young career is not what this Knick team is looking for. I understand that, and he can grow. He'll probably get better over time, but right now it's not a lot, and it doesn't warrant him being out there too many minutes. However, if you look at him shooting 50% from the field and 50% from three. I know it's only two attempts on the from three,
Mhm.
but and he had 9 points in 13 minutes, whereas Julius Randle had 13 points in 34 minutes. Yes, he had 11 rebounds. I
I
agree
would
that he
argue,
does do other things.
my argument
He
would be if you had an opportunity and a choice to give either Randall or Obi 5 shots from the 3-point range, who would you prefer taking it?
Randle, of course,
So that's why, you know what I mean? That's sort of,
but
it's a weird thing because it's like he has the ability to do more, but he always shows less. You get what I'm saying? Like he's on the court, he's almost like allowing himself to stay put in that corner when even when you got the ball in that corner and there's no one else to go to, you still don't take the initiative to attack the rim. He'll do it in moments, in spurts. But if he did that more often, instead of looking for an additional pass or additional, handoff, it doesn't quite make any sense, and people say, oh, that's because Tibbs got him scared to get pulled. You're getting pulled anyway, so what the fuck is the point? Excuse my language. Like if you know you're getting
yeah,
pulled, you're gonna get pulled anyway. You might as well attack the basket, try to make something of it. Like it's sometimes he's just too laid back for my
he's
taste.
he's
It's like
very passive. He's very passive.
it's very passive. It's like, and that's not the
I
player
agree
that
with you
I
on that.
seen in the draft board, to be honest. The player that I seen in the draft board was aggressively grabbing boards, aggressively scoring in the paint, aggressively attacking the basket. Like I don't buy it. I don't buy that it's Tibbs' decision always. I think there's some of that accountability has to be on the player, and this definitely has to be on Obi to be more aggressive.
Although, here's the other side of that coin. The Knicks did make their run while Obi was on the court. Now, granted, I know they didn't take the lead, they didn't get close, and Obi made, a poor defensive play, as well as some other guys did too during the span. But they just were playing better with that unit out there. And we've seen that happen earlier in the year too, where Tibbs decided to keep that unit out there. And we got close to possibly winning a game. We didn't, but he's done that where he kept that unit. The only thing that I will say to you, I agree with you. I would rather have Julius out there shooting than Obi. But if you gave Julius 10 shots at the 3-point line and Obi 10 shots at the 3-point line every game, I think you'd start to see Obi's shot look a lot better, and he would start to hit a
If
lot
he
more of
would,
those
if he
shots.
would take them,
If he would take them.
that's the
Yeah.
real point. Like, will he take them? Because if you give him 10, I know Randall's going to take them. Randall's going to take 15 out of the 10 shots
You're
that you
right.
give him.
You're right
Like,
about that. Yeah, he's so passive.
Obi's
I
going to
get it.
take 5, maybe less. He'll probably take 3 of those 10 shots. It's like, come on, man. Like, sometimes you got to balls up, man.
I agree, and I've said it before. And the last thing I said about this, so we can get into the weekly predictions and stuff.
Right.
He's just not as aggressive as I need him to be for somebody who is so athletic. I
Yep.
don't see Obi throwing it down on anybody. And I'm not saying
Facts.
that's what he has to do to show me that he's a dunker. I'm saying guys who are dunkers, they throw it down on people because that's how aggressive they are. It happens. It's just gonna
One
happen.
play.
We saw more aggressive stuff from Porzingis when he was a Knick.
Yes.
Porzingis was
Yes.
throwing it down on all types of people.
Right.
Like,
So
come on.
here's one play in the Utah game. There was a moment that we had a possession, a rebound, a long rebound that went to Obi, and it's just him and Rudy Gobert. He has an open lane at Rudy Gobert. He doesn't go attack the rim. You talking about, like, if I had hops like him, my saliva will be coming. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be salivating at a moment
you gotta
at Rudy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you
even
gotta
though I
try.
know,
Even if Rudy,
even if he
could block
it.
your shot. Yeah,
That's
you
what
gotta
he's
try.
there for.
Look, if you switch that situation and give that one-on-one situation to Ja Morant.
Mitch.
To
Donovan,
Ja. Well, Donovan definitely.
Donovan Mitchell against
Donovan would do it too.
Donovan against our Mitchell. He would have done it. He would have went. He would have went
Yes,
for
he
it.
would have. Yeah, I know.
He would have went for it.
Yeah, well, listen. I hope something changes in his offseason. And I think Obi's probably got one more year with us, unless he goes in a trade. I think they're going to give him one more good look, and hopefully he takes his game to the next level. Just a marginal increase. You gotta keep improving. Right. You don't got to become a superstar. You just got to keep improving every year. We'll see what happens, man.
Starts with shooting, taking your shots.
Listen, I'm not going to fault you when you say that. I agree with you on that, man.
It's crazy.
I think it's that time. It's that time, guys. It's time for us to get into the weekly predictions.
Hello, gentlemen.
Oh, hey, Jose.
Hey.
What's going on, bud?
Not much, man. Listen. How you guys doing? You guys had a good week?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, decent.
Not bad. Hey, it's okay.
Okay.
It's not one of those
How was
sessions.
your week?
My week was great, because I don't make predictions every Monday, so I don't have to worry about anything when we come to the show, you know?
You're right. You're right. That's why we're nervous.
Yeah, listen. Can we just be real for a second?
Sure.
Yeah, please.
The only reason you gave that whole spiel against Julius Randle just earlier today, to be exact, 47 minutes and 28 seconds ago, was because of Julius Randle's action from yesterday's game, right?
Yeah, Ron's not in favor of the.
He's not, because if Julius would have been better yesterday, you will be the king of predictions for this week. Congratulations, John.
I know. Yay!
Thumbs down, man.
I'm telling you, I'm taking that victory.
Cool. It's okay. But listen, that was last week, Ron. We got this week coming up, and this week is actually pretty exciting. But before we continue, I need you two to do me a couple of favors. One, Ron, close out the chat. Don't look at the chat for the next 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, tough. It's on a different screen, so that's good. I'm done. I'm not looking at it.
Don't look at it either.
Boom.
And
got it.
You, John, and Ron, don't look at your phones at all.
Okay.
All right, so I want to do something different today. Now, if you look at the underneath your name, those are the predictions from last week, Ron, you predicted 3 wins. John, you predicted 2 wins and the loss with the last game, and you came out victorious.
Okay.
Good times, right, Ron? Not so much for you, but listen. I want to know.
Seems like a gamble right here.
How confident are either of you guys with leaving your predictions from last week for this week?
Oh,
that sucks. Because I'm sure John is very confident.
I'm gonna let it ride.
Oh no.
That's funny.
But wait. There's more.
It's a curveball.
because there's actually a fourth game.
Oh,
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 and we
instead
both
of
get
letting
wins?
You guys make the prediction because we didn't have 4 games this past week. I'm actually going to give you the results of the fans that voted today while you guys were having your discussion. So the fourth game being the Knicks versus the Pistons, with 100% of the fans
That
saying
makes sense.
the Knicks would
That
take
totally
that
makes sense.
I can see that. I can see that.
So, gentlemen, I told you we have to change it up. There's only 6 games left. Okay, I might be lying.
That's
I don't
right.
know. There's only a few games left. How about that?
I love it.
It's 11 to be exact.
It's 11.
11 to be exact. Well, after these 4, it would be less than that.
It would
But
be
listen,
6.
with the exception of the Knicks versus the Pistons,
7.
do you guys
7.
want to keep your predictions from last week for the first 3 games of this week? You don't have to. I'm not pressuring you.
Ron,
You know,
try to
I'm not
win.
gonna pressure you. I'm just saying if you
Call
don't,
me John, and I'll be like, yeah.
you know. You got a couple witnesses here with us tonight, and you got more that are gonna watch afterwards. So you know.
All right. Yeah.
I'll tell you
fine,
this.
let it ride.
I'll tell you this, Ron. I'll tell you this, Ron. I'm not letting mine ride because I'm trying to win that
What?
steak dinner. I'm not letting it
no,
ride.
What?
I'm not letting it ride.
Okay.
I'm
All
trying to
right.
go out of. I'm trying to end the season in a win streak, even if my Knicks don't.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
Yeah, I can't let it ride, man. I need
Go
to,
for the win.
I need to see what I can do.
Go for the
I gotta
win.
do so. I don't got much left.
Okay. No worries. So, what do you want to change then? Oh, by the way,
I'll take
all
Knicks
of it.
versus the Pistons stays.
That's
Ooh,
fine.
Knicks versus the
That's the
Pistons
only
stays.
one-
Fine.
That
That's
will
the
stay.
fans'
I'm
choice.
with
That's
that.
the fans. We're gonna take in what the fans.
I'm
voted.
rocking with the fans.
Go ahead, Ron. Hawks versus the Knicks.
A loss.
Oh.
But
I'm gonna put
see,
a little
here's the
star next to
problem.
that to let people know that he did not go with last week's prediction.
no, here's the problem because I don't. Oh man, whatever. I'll just take it.
You're
I'll
not
eat
being
it.
pressure. You're not
Because
being pressure.
No, it's not that. It's that Trey Young has been hurt. He's been out. So if he plays, then I say it's a loss. But if he don't play, the Knicks could win that game. But it is what it is. I'll take the loss. It's cool. All right.
What
so
are you
I'm gonna
going? You
say
going with the
a
loss
L-
or the win?
Yeah,
An
yeah,
L.
yeah. Watch him not play. Be pissed off. All right. Anyway, so I'm gonna go with the L on that. I'm gonna say the Knicks versus the Hornets. I think that's an L. Because now, of course, the Knicks going to catch the Hornets at the bad time because the Hornets are playing a little better these past couple games. And then we got the Knicks versus the Heat. So, come on. You know we going to do to the Heat. That's an L.
I love it.
Yeah,
You're going
so there
for the
you go.
win.
Okay,
There you
wait.
go.
You're going for the win.
Just for out of
My guy
curiosity.
Rod is going for the win.
The Knicks versus the Pistons. What would you have chosen?
Oh, a W. A win.
A win. Mm-hmm.
All right, John. What about you?
Yep. Only thing I'm doing, I am going to add an L for the Hornets game.
That's true to form for John. I expect
and
him
that's
to
what
think
I'm
the Knicks
rocking
can
with.
beat the Hawks.
Okay.
And that's what I'm rocking with.
That's
With
what you-
or without Rayford. What's
Trey
his
Young.
name?
That's right.
Trey Young.
Yeah.
Rayford Trey Young. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever. How do I?
There you go.
I'm like Rayford, and I'm thinking Austin.
So, just so you guys can get an idea what the fans voted. Knicks versus the Hawks, 72 for the Knicks. Knicks versus the Hornets, 50-50. It was a split.
That's crazy.
Knicks versus the Heat. The Heat. Taking that. And, of course, Knicks versus the Pistons. Knicks.
With the and,
Well, gentlemen,
all right.
there's only one thing to ask. Do you lock it in?
Yeah, lock that in.
But wait, there's more.
Oh man.
So believe it or not, gentlemen, and hopefully you still not looking at your chat or looking at your phone. There's
yet.
actually a 5th game happening next week, Monday at 7:30 p.m. Now, here's the
Oh,
thing.
it's
Wait,
stacked.
don't even look at the game. This is what I'm going to ask you. I'm going to give you 2 options.
Win
The
or
first
loss?
option is you guys will just tell me win or loss for that 5th game
I like
without
that.
telling you what team it is.
It's a good gamble.
Or
He's trying
Alright,
to make
cool.
you.
second option, I put the poll in the chat and let the fans choose for you.
Nah.
No,
I like
I'm
that.
good. I'll pick it blindly. Let's go.
Blind. Let's go with the blind.
Let's go. Yeah, this is like me playing spades. I'll go for a blind Boston. Let's go. Let's go.
That's what we're gonna need in order to make the playoffs.
13 books, baby. I got 13 books. Let's go.
We need 13 wins and only 11 games.
Right.
Right.
Gentlemen, just to be honest, I did not prepare for this one, so you guys just got to tell me win or loss.
All right.
Loss.
Damn.
John?
I want to say loss too. I'm going with the loss.
All right, gentlemen, for the Knicks versus the Bulls, you both predicted that it will be a loss. So,
Yes.
most likely the game will be over while we're beginning our podcast next week or at the end of it. And we will
Nice.
see if you were right or not.
You know, I wouldn't. It's crazy how much of excitement I have, and most of mine are losses. I'm excited for a
Guys,
loss.
sorry,
Yes.
fellow Knicks fans. This is where we're at right now. 11
Listen,
games
for
left.
all of
Throw it all
those-
away.
Listen, for all of those who say I don't believe in tanking, okay, much power to you. I agree. I don't the players themselves played this game to tank. There's something to be said about going to a season that is going into the playoffs not worth winning. Like, I would love to see the kids get more experience, but it's not like we are showing that on the court. If you were to tell me that in this situation we're mathematically out of it and Coach Tibbs continuously plays Randle upwards of 38 minutes, Burks 38 minutes, 36 minutes, 34 minutes, Fournier the same. These are veteran players who should not have the same amount of playing time next year if we were to look at the young players that we have on this team and give them an opportunity to excel. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I hear a lot of folks saying, oh, this is what, like, there's no way we can, tank. Like, there's no future in tanking. And I get it. I understand that. But you want to see a team like ours who doesn't have an opportunity to make the playoffs. Focus on the young. Focus on the young players. Allow them to exceed expectation, because if you don't, and you come back to next season coming into it with the same thought process that you're going to play Fournier 38, 36 minutes a game, and same with Burks, we're going to continually lose these games because we don't have the skill level as other teams. We don't have the skill set of other teams. We don't have the players with those skill sets, right? So I would prefer that we go into next season looking at Fournier and Burks as bench role players that can give you a punch off the bench. Allow for a player like Cam to witness his opportunity, a player like Grimes to witness his opportunity to step up and get into a starting role or be looked at as a potential starter. That's all I'm going to say about it.
I agree with you. I'm with you on that. And the other thing is, even when we're just looking at our predictions here, this is why I say the Knicks don't need to tank, because I honestly look at these games and could the Knicks beat the Hawks? Yeah.
Tough
If they
schedule.
came out playing their best basketball, yes. But the Hawks are in it right now, and they want to stay there. The Hornets
Games.
are in it right now. They want to stay there. These are
Right.
important games for them. And then we got the Heat, who we never beat. So, this is, you don't got to tank.
Right.
These games work themselves
Right.
out with the type of team
Right.
we got. This is where we're at. So anyway, we'll see.
Not
what
only that, think in the back end, we play Orlando two more times. And you know how that
and
how
then
that goes.
we're in trouble, because those are L's. B. I can't believe we can't beat
Facts.
Orlando. What the hell is going
We
on?
can't beat Orlando. They are kryptonite.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's nuts. Anyway,
Well,
all
gentlemen,
right, guys. So
is this a
that's
locked
pretty
in?
much it.
Are you locking it in?
Yeah, this is locked in, bro. Locked in.
Locked it in. Locked it in.
Look at that.
All right, gentlemen. This is fun. I enjoyed this one. I know I changed it up on y'all. I threw a curveball. I'm gonna go drink some water. Take care.
Later, Jose. It was like playing Russian roulette, man.
Yeah, man. Well, listen. This was another good show. Sorry for any technical difficulties we might be experiencing. Not everything can be perfect. Sometimes we go through it. As I said, I was having some big issues earlier, and I was like, I don't even know if we're gonna be able to do the show. That's how bad it was. I couldn't even get my phone to work. The internet was crazy. But you know what? We got through it. And thank you guys for tuning in and rocking with us, always supporting. Really quick, JW, I see you came into the chat. What's going on? Agent Super Argo, what's good?
Salute to the chat.
Danielle, appreciate you. I don't know if I saw you here before, but I think it kind of looks familiar. Maybe you were here before, so I appreciate you, bro. Quality Jumper's in the building. What's going on, Quality Jumper? Ken is in the building. Jarvis Williams. Jarvis, what's going on? And yeah. Okay. I think I got all the other guys. Okay, I got everybody else. Cool. And Geraldine, of course. Still Nick fan for life, Worldwide L, look at you. What's going on, brother? Miss you out there, man. Haven't seen you in a minute. So I gotta get you back out there and get you on the weekend show. So thank you for tuning in, bro. Hey, John, you got any final words, brother?
And I'm going to end it as always. Stay blessed, and I'll catch you all on the next one.
Those are always good words. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Keep supporting. We're still trying to build, still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. And thank you as always. Comment, like, subscribe, the whole shebang. Definitely check us out. MBK, we're gonna have the NBA report. I think
Thursday.
Is it Wednesday this week? Thursday,
because we play on Wednesday this week. We got a back-to-back
Wednesday. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to talk about Thursday then. So let's see about Thursday, and then definitely check out the Know the Ledge series on Saturday. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. We'll catch you in the next one. And thank you to my man Jose on the ones and twos, holding us down.
Holding it down. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So you guys have a great rest of your evening. Let's go Knicks, man. No matter what we're dealing with, losses, wins, in the end, we just hope to get better talent in the offseason so we have a better product next year and it all becomes, something, playoff worthy or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
Hey,
something.
Ron, keep your chin up, man. You got to stay above water. Yeah, keep your chin up. You see, you're going further down underneath your name. You got to keep your chin up.
Oh, am I? I guess because I'm down in the doldrums right now. This is how my weekly predictions been looking. Every time I pick, when I come back the next week, this is where I feel like I'm at. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. It's always been fun. Still Knick fans, we out of here. We'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy, y'all.